Hi, this is Ivey, the fulfillment artist. And in this video, I'm going to teach you how to get over the fear of being judged with 3 powerful techniques, and you're going to really like these. But first of all, why do we have this fear of being judged? Right? Why is it that all humans have this sort of weird fear of being judged on some level, right? And it doesn't apply to everyone, okay? But there are a lot of people that just fear being judged by others. Well, let's think about how we go about our lives. We go to school. And then if we don't do well, people say, you know, you're not doing well, you've got to get 100%, you've got to do this. And we're like, oh, damn, I need to be perfect. If we're not perfect, then I'm going to be judged by people. And that's often the connection we make. If we're not perfect, then we're going to be judged. And if we're judged, then we're not going to be good enough. And then if we're not good enough, we're not going to get loved. And then ultimately, then what's the point? And that is often the sort of route that people take. And then we take this to the adult world where if we do something wrong or someone looks at us in a funny way, we're like, oh my God, is that a threat? And we don't think that in our head, but in our reptilian brain, we're going, that could be a threat. Someone's looking at me. Maybe they're judging me. What have I done wrong? Right? And we often think of these things in our lives. Okay? So the question is, how do we move forward from this fear of being judged? Now, just a quick point is I recently read a book which was the subtle art of not giving a fuck. Now, when I was reading this book, I was pretty interested by the title, but honestly, it's okay. It's an okay book. But the truth is, I just like the title, and that is what I want you to get from this video, is the subtle art of basically just not caring about what other people think. Because the truth is, they're too busy thinking about what you think about them. That's the hilarity of it. There's people like in a room, basically all thinking, well, what's that person thinking of me? And the other person's thinking, well, what are they thinking of me? And we're in this universe where we're all thinking about what the other person is thinking, and no one else is actually thinking. So, moving forward from here, what are these powerful techniques that we can use to actually get over this fear of being judged? Number 1 is become aware of your questions. Now, questions are really important. Now, often a lot of this occurs unconsciously. So what happens is you're in a circumstance, and then a question, you'll say something like, is that person judging me? Why is he looking at me like that? Am I wearing the right thing? Those are the sort of questions that we pose to ourselves. Now, when I was recently at Date with Destiny, one of the profound things I learned was more about questions and how we often ask ourselves these types of questions. Now, a better question that I want you to be able to think about in this circumstance is, how can I appreciate and enjoy the perfection of this moment? Or God's perfection in this moment, or whatever it is that you believe in, like the perfection of this moment. Because what happens is, if you ask yourself that question, right, how can I appreciate and enjoy even more the perfection of this moment? There's a prerequisite that you're already appreciating and enjoying it. Okay, so you're telling your mind, I'm already appreciating and enjoying it, and it's perfect. So there's nothing wrong. And if there's nothing wrong in the situation, then there can't be anyone judging it. There's just nothing wrong. Or even if there is judging, it doesn't matter because it's a perfect situation. And by asking yourself that type of question, how can I appreciate and enjoy even more the perfection of this moment? You are telling your mind, right, to focus on this instead. What will happen is, instead of you, maybe this is when you're judging others, or maybe this is when other people are judging you, because the truth is, if you've got a fear of being judged, most likely you're someone that judges others as well. So if you ever have a circumstance where you either judge someone else or you think someone's judging you, ask yourself better questions. And that could be a question to ask yourself. Maybe you can come up with a few different questions, but I would say get a question that works for you, that redirects your mind, and use that. And this technique will, like any of these techniques alone are going to help. This one is so powerful. So please write down the question and actually use it. Maybe set a reminder on your phone every single day to remind yourself of it, and then you can really start to move forward. Next is focus on being courageous. So often in life, we experience this fear, and we can call it being judged, we can call it whatever, but there's something, and this fear stops us from actually doing what we want to do. There's something we want to do, but we have this fear, and we don't want to do it. Now instead, if you can focus on being courageous, now courage is where you feel fear, but you do it anyway. And that is what I want you to focus on. I feel fear, but I do it anyway. And that is where courage comes in. So when you feel that fear, have the courage to be able to do it anyway. the more you do this, the easier it will become. It's just like a muscle. But in order to explain this better, I wanted to introduce you to the idea of the chimp paradox. This is a book, it's actually pretty interesting. But in essence, right, the summary of the book is we have a chimp inside of us, and this is where we overreact to things, okay, when we're just reacting out of control. We have a human, which sort of works out everything, and then we have a computer, which is on autopilot. When you're not thinking, you're just doing stuff. You know when you're driving your car, and then suddenly you've gone 3 miles, and you literally have, like, you weren't thinking at all, and you were like, oh my God, I could have crashed, but I'm still here. How has this worked? Something like that. So, in essence, this is what you do. The technique is, and I used to do this to get up when I was having trouble, is I used to go 3, 2, 1, go. And it doesn't give you, like, you don't have a chance to think. Instead, you just go. And what's happening is you're just overriding this sort of lethargic laziness inside of yourself, and you're just saying go. And it's just like basically an oomph. So you just go 3, 2, 1, go. And as soon as you do it, and as soon as it's done, it becomes easier and easier and easier. I tell you now, I used to lie in bed and I used to, okay, 3, 2, 1, up, and I used to just set myself up, and then I used to be fine. And I use the same technique when I need to do something courageous, or when I used to, and that was, okay, 3, 2, 1, and then I just go. And I don't have time to think, to rationalize, it's just done, right? And this is a brilliant technique. I'm telling you now, if you start to use this, your life can really, really change. You'll start to be courageous in so many different circumstances. So it's basically 3, 2, 1, go. And basically, just imagine you're utilizing whatever it is inside you, but you don't have time to think, because you're just focusing on 3, 2, 1, and then you just do it. It's amazing. I really, really, really recommend even just doing this for like a week and just see what happens. Next, and this could be the best one, is play a game against yourself. Now, basically, when playing this game, in essence, it's us letting go of the need to be perfect. Because some of us feel that we have to be perfect in life, right? We feel that we've got to be perfect at this, perfect at that, and perfect at all these bloody different things, right? No one's perfect. That's the truth, right? You can't be perfect because it's just ridiculous, basically. So, how do you play this game? The game is the I can't game. So, whenever you say to yourself, I can't, then you must, and you do it. And what you're going to do is you're going to keep a scorecard. So you're going to go, oh, I can't go up to that person. And as soon as you hear that, you say, okay, I can't go up to, wait, I said I can't, I must. And then it's a game. And you can choose to do it or you choose not to, but it's basically a game. Okay? I can't go up to that person, yes I can. You go up to them and you're like, ha, I win. Right? And it's literally just a fun game you have against yourself. So instead of you focusing on being judged and all this other shit, you're just focusing on a game against yourself. It's an internal game. Everything is an illusion that we have in our mind of judging other people, right? So by playing this game, we're focusing internally with ourselves and helping us move forward. So a quick word of caution, and that is the following. What I don't want you to do is to say, oh, I can't eat that piece of cake, and then go, oh yes, I can, right? Just the whole point of this is there has to be some sort of fear there, okay? Some sort of, oh, I'm not sure, I can't do that, and then you do it. And then just keep a fun scorecard, and then you can basically move forward with that. So with that, I hope that you've enjoyed watching the video. I hope that you can remove this fear from your life, and now you've got the right strategies. Once again, these strategies are useless if you just know them. Knowledge is useless unless it is implemented. So make sure to implement what you've learned today, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening.